there, Josh. Hope you're having a great day today. It's your video lesson. Let's see here. 3 things I want to talk about. I'll talk about those 3 things. And as usual, if you may look at anything or have any questions, feel free to send those on over to me and I'll do my best to answer. So let's get to it. So, well, thanks for seeing that video over of what you worked on this week. It's looking a lot better. I'll talk about it in just a second, but just right up front, really great job. It's actually come along quite a ways from when we first started. I'll kind of go over the things I really liked about it in just a second. But point number 1 is something I've been meaning to get to the last 2 weeks is continue our cage project, which is learning all of our chords across the fretboard and having complete coverage is our ultimate goal. Just to give you a quick overview of the cage system, right? Remember, that's where we take the C, the A, the G, E, and D, and all the minor versions of all those chords, like say, like C minor is not very playable. That's what we'll start with. It's kind of harder chord to play. It's this one here: C minor form, A minor form, G minor is a bear, this like that, and then more playable like this right here's some crazy stretch chord. Don't worry, it's not that when we get there. E minor, and then D minor. All those chords are movable across the fretboard. All you need is just some time to practice and knowing where the root note is in each chord, and just waste some time on the guitar, really. Which we're all after. So the one I like to start with when someone comes to me in your situation who already has the E form down, the A form down, those are where you kind of start, so you pick the right ones to begin with. The next one that most people don't know is the C form, right, which is this C chord shape right here, right? But this one is extremely useful, especially in, I use it daily when I'm playing up. Like doing arpeggio patterns like that, right? Things like that along those lines. I'll do those quite frequently, actually. And it's actually also a really useful shape. So like if you can hear this sound, right? That's using C form right there in another way that we'll talk about later on. But first is just get the form under your fingers. There's a sentence I'm a very big fan of in the book that I use when teaching this, which is, even though the shapes are awkward, we're not after the big shape in and of itself. It's just simply just to show us where to like land our fingers at. And so for this chord right here, we have a C form C chord right here, right? C chord, and it's sounding a C chord, and it's using C form. That is a root 5 chord right here. So that means our ring finger right there is playing that note C. That means that a root 5. That means the home bass note, the note that gives the chord its like A, B, C, D, E, F, G name, is on that string right there, on that 5th string, right? So to play this as a C form is movable, right? We swap out our fingers, so our 4, 3, and 2nd finger are playing, our 1st finger's free, and we're going to scooch this up. So we have this note right here, C. We're going to go C sharp, right? And then we're going to go right here to the D, and we're going to put all that in position. You can bar across all 6 strings if you want. I will mostly do this right here, right? I've been playing for a while, so that's not too bad for me. But for someone starting out, they might want to bar across all 6 strings. They might find it easier. But anyway, so remember that the shape in and of itself is not what we're after, even though, after some practice, you'll get this one down. It's really when we break it into smaller pieces, that's what we're really after with this thing. But first thing I gotta show you is where the thing even is, right? So where the trouble comes in this one for people is that they'll put this down and then they'll bar across and go, oh, my pointer finger. Because before, the pointer finger has always been like the finger that you kind of base the chord name off of. So say, for example, this A form right here. So if I played a D chord using the A form, like the pointer finger is doing the job right here playing the root note. Or say, for example, if I play D over here, this one, the E form, and that pointer finger right there, that one is playing the root note right there. And so people just get accustomed to the pointer finger being like where the root note is, and that's not the case for this one, right? This one, where people will get tripped up with, they'll go, oh, my pointer finger's right here on A sharp, B. Oh, there's my B right there. It must be a B chord. And it's not. It's going to be the pinky. So just be careful of that. Like I said, that's, if I do see someone have trouble with this one, that's where they'll get hung up at, with that ring finger right there. Or sorry, with the pinky there. So you put that chord in position and go, oh my God, this was play that in the song, and the answer is yeah. Now you got to practice it, or you got to practice a fair bit, and this is the next step after you're doing those other open chords, or sorry, the other cage chords. That is not the open chords, the cage chords. So if I take this D chord and put it right there, the way I would practice is to get it under your fingers is lift it up and see if you can hold it for a second, and then see if you can drop it all at the same time, right? So lift, hold it, and then see if you can drop into place. You'll probably end up with a lot of this, or some people playing the wrong string. That's okay. That's to be expected. Roy wasn't built in a day, and there's a reason why C form is not the first cage chord we talk about, even though that's the one you're on now, is because you already know the other shapes, right? So just lift, hold it, and then drop in place, right? Like I said, we're not after playing that huge shape in the end. It's just to know where the big shape is, so we can chop it up into smaller pieces, and you can play cool. All that kind of stuff in there, but you gotta know where everything is first. Right? So that's what the first thing I would do. Then the next thing, number 2, is a song that you have a little second to get to that form chord. So that was a D chord I showed you right there. I tapped it out for you. The song I'd like you to mess around with on this one is Cortez the Killer by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. This is a great E minor jam tune. So the E minor stuff that you worked on will totally work with this one here. The chord progression is E minor, down, 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 down. It's going to go to a D chord. You can see where we're going with this. Down, 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 up, and then to E, and then an A minor. Down, 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 down. And but the goal for this one is this. Oops, sorry. It's the Mondays. E minor. D form there. A minor, right? Minor, D, right, you already know that one, A minor. So just get used to getting in and out of that brand new shape and switching with the 2 other cage chords that you know. Or sorry, 3. 1, 2, and 3. You're only missing 1, right? Doesn't seem that much more information now, does it? Anyway, so that's point number 2. Point number 3, E minor soloing technique. Great job playing with the backing track. So good, we got that going. What was really neat about it was that you actually landed the E. Like you can land the E wherever you want, but you landed it in the really right spot. When the E minor chord came around again in the backing track, you landed right on the E, and like it was perfect timing. It was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what you should do. I like how structured you were, right? When you played it, you were sticking to those sequences, and I could hear the underlying structure with it. It didn't seem random to me. It seemed like you were playing an idea and you were kind of seeing it through versus just kind of running up and down scales. So you're targeting that E in the right spot, and you were sticking with the 3-note sequences. Then I have in here, and I remind myself of this sometimes, that music is always, there's always an underlying order to music. Even in jam music, these guys and gals have been doing it for so long that they kind of do a second nature. For us, we still have to think about the same way when you first learn how to drive. You have to think about like where everything is, and then you do it for long enough, and it just becomes second nature, right? It's the same thing with this. You're not gonna have to think about where the landing notes are all the time. It's just right now in its beginning stages. What I would really work on for this week is that vibrato in laying that sustained just ring. So when you do that line, let's count what you did. Right? The sustained is just letting that note ring longer than you think it does. It's like if you listen to someone talk, and then finish a sentence, and then here's another sentence, here's finish a sentence, and then you start another one. And then you start another one. Think of it as like, or you're reciting something, and if you start the sentences too quickly after one after another, it's gonna seem too fast. So really, just let that bad boy ring, man. Sometimes like the note, the in-between, like I said before last time, the in-between notes are sometimes just even more important than the notes you play. As far as vibrato, rock and roll vibrato, I use the other fingers to help. And what I'm going to do is when I play that when I have that backing track, the Neil Young backing track here, dun 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 dun. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A good vibrato matches the tempo of the song that you're playing with. Right? So if I hear a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, so you 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. First step would be just to do this with the backing track. Dun dun. The backing track pulses 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then we'll do next week 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so work on that stuff for me. If you have questions, send them on over. If not, I will see you same time next time. Take care.